What if the town's biggest sports event needed an unexpected hero, and that hero was a gentle, oversized Yeti? This is the story of Yeti Bob and the Big Game, a comedy of clumsy kicks, giant jumps, and heart that wins more than trophies. The little mountain town was buzzing with excitement. Posters hung in windows, children practiced in the park, parents cheered from the sidelines. It was time for the Big Game, the annual championship where the whole town came together to play and celebrate. But this year, the other team looked strong. Too strong. The townsfolk worried. How could they ever win? That's when a child pointed up the hill. "What about Bob?" Heads turned. Bob, the gentle Yeti, was stacking blocks with the children, humming to himself. He was big, he was strong, and he loved to help. The townsfolk gathered their courage and asked, "Bob, will you play for us?" Bob blinked in surprise. Sports? He had never played anything more competitive than tag with the kids. But when he saw their hopeful faces, he rumbled with a smile, "I will try my best." Bob showed up at the field the next morning. Children handed him a soccer ball. Parents gave him a jersey, though it stretched awkwardly across his wide chest. At first, it didn't go well. When Bob kicked the ball, it soared into the treetops. When he tried to dribble, the ball stuck to his fur. When he jumped to head the ball, he accidentally scared a flock of birds into the sky. The children doubled over, laughing. "Bob, you're supposed to kick the ball, not launch it into orbit!" But Bob only chuckled and tried again. Every mistake brought more giggles, but also more determination. By the end of practice, Bob had managed to pass the ball, sort of, and even block a goal by standing still in front of the net. "You'll get it, Bob," the children cheered. "We believe in you." The day of the Big Game arrived. The field was packed. Banners waved. Drums pounded. Bob lumbered onto the pitch, towering over everyone. The other team gasped. "They brought a Yeti?" The whistle blew. Chaos began. Bob tried to run, but his giant strides carried him too far. He tried to kick, but sent the ball flying over the fence. He tried to block a goal, but tripped over his own feet, tumbling like a furry avalanche. The crowd roared with laughter. Some cheered, some groaned. Bob blushed beneath his fur, but he kept going. Every time he fell, he got back up. Every time he missed, he tried again. His clumsy determination turned into slapstick comedy, yet somehow it kept the team's spirits alive. The children on Bob's team shouted encouragement. "Go, Bob! You can do it!" And slowly, the crowd began to cheer too. As the game went on, something surprising happened. Bob wasn't scoring goals, no. He wasn't dribbling or passing well either. But he was changing the game. When a player fell, Bob scooped them up gently and set them back on their feet. When the ball got stuck in the mud, Bob pulled it free with one giant paw. When the crowd grew tense, Bob tripped over himself again, sending everyone into laughter and easing the pressure. Slowly, both teams stopped caring so much about the score. They began playing differently, more playful, more joyful. Bob's laughter, his clumsy tumbles, his giant but gentle presence, he reminded everyone that the Big Game wasn't really about winning. It was about fun, friendship, and playing together. With just minutes left, the score was tied. The ball bounced wildly across the field. Cheers and shouts filled the air. Then it rolled to Bob. The crowd held its breath. Bob looked at the ball. He looked at the goal. His team shouted, "Kick it, Bob!" Bob swung his giant foot and tripped. He toppled forward, sprawling flat, but in his tumble, his foot smacked the ball. It rolled slowly, comically, and crossed the goal line. Silence. Then an explosion of cheers. Bob had scored. By accident. His teammates leapt onto him in celebration. The other team laughed and applauded. Even the referees were grinning. Bob sat up, dizzy but smiling. Did I do it?" he asked. "You did it, Bob!" the children cried. "You won the game!" The town celebrated late into the night. But when people asked Bob how it felt to be the hero, he only shook his head gently. "Not hero," he said. "We all played. We all laughed. That is the win." And he was right. The big game wasn't remembered for the final score. It was remembered for the giant Yeti who made everyone laugh, who turned a tense match into a joyful day, and who reminded them that sometimes the best victories come from the heart. And so, Yeti Bob's clumsy kicks, giant tumbles, and unstoppable determination redefined the big game forever. From that day on, the town didn't just play to win. They played to smile, to laugh, and to celebrate together. And at the center of it all was Bob, the gentle giant who made the world a little brighter, one game at a time. If Yeti Bob's big game made you cheer and laugh, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of kindness, chaos, and heart.